Hello and welcome to Global News Today on QuickView 24's Daily, bringing you the latest and most important global updates. Top headlines today. Dozens of hostages kidnapped on a train in Pakistan. Armed group threatens execution. New airstrikes in Gaza. Israel and Hamas ceasefire talks at a deadlock. Oil tanker collision off the coast of the UK. Environmental disaster looming. Global air pollution crisis. WHO issues an urgent warning. US and Ukraine, 30-day ceasefire agreement and resumption of military aid. Russia, Ukraine, UAV attack on Moscow, tensions escalate. Which events are shaking the world today? Let's dive into the details. Hostage crisis on Pakistani train, escalating tensions. Pakistan is facing a serious security crisis. An armed group has attacked a train and taken dozens of passengers hostage. The situation is extremely tense. Attack details. On March 11th, an armed group attacked the Jaffa Express train in Balochistan, southwestern Pakistan. Around 35 passengers were taken hostage, while 350 others were rescued. The Balochistan Liberation Army, BLA, claimed responsibility, threatening to execute hostages if Pakistan's military intervenes. Pakistan's response. Security forces have been deployed, placing the area under high alert emergency status. Provincial authorities are negotiating with the armed group for the safe release of hostages. Pakistan's Interior Ministry stated that no concessions will be made to extremist groups, and military action is on the table. Will Pakistan be able to rescue the hostages without escalating the conflict further? New airstrikes in Gaza, ceasefire talks collapse. Hopes for an Israel-Hamas ceasefire are fading, while negotiations remain at a standstill. Another airstrike has hit Gaza. Current situation in Gaza. On March 11th, the Israeli military carried out an intense airstrike in central Gaza, killing 4 people, including 2 civilians. Israel claims the attack targeted terrorist operatives, but Palestinian officials call it an escalation of violence. Ceasefire talks struggle. Hamas demands Israel withdraw troops from Gaza before moving to phase 2 of the ceasefire agreement. Israel insists Hamas must release all hostages before further talks. Qatar and Egypt are mediating negotiations, but progress remains slow. Will Gaza find peace, or is the conflict set to continue? Russia, Ukraine, UAV attack on Moscow, escalating tensions. Moscow wakes up to chaos. A massive UAV attack from Ukraine has targeted the Russian capital and surrounding areas. Could this be a dangerous escalation in the ongoing war? Key developments. Attack timeline and locations. In the early hours of March 11th, multiple Ukrainian drones, UAVs, launched a large-scale assault on Moscow and Kursk province. This marks one of the largest drone attacks by Ukraine against Russia in recent months. Damage and casualties. 3 civilians killed, over 10 injured, some in critical condition. Several buildings sustained damage due to exploding UAVs in residential areas, causing panic among residents. A fuel depot in Kursk caught fire following a drone strike, raising concerns of a wider fire hazard. Number of UAVs shot down. 337 Ukrainian drones were intercepted by Russian air defense overnight. 129 UAVs were destroyed over Kursk. 91 UAVs were neutralized over Moscow. The remaining drones were taken down in other areas. This is considered one of the biggest UAV attacks Russia has faced in 2024. Is this Ukraine's new strategy to pressure Moscow? Russia's response. Official Russian statements. Russia's defense ministry claims its air defense system successfully intercepted most of the drones before they could cause significant damage. The Russian Foreign Ministry accused Ukraine of deliberately timing the attack to coincide with the visit of an OSCE delegation to Moscow. Spokesperson Maria Zakharova condemned the incident as a deliberate provocation and evidence that Ukraine does not seek peace. Military response from Russia. Russia has vowed to retaliate aggressively, expanding military operations to ensure the security of Moscow and affected regions. Reports suggest Russia may intensify airstrikes on Ukrainian military facilities in response. Will Moscow escalate its military campaign following this attack? Ukraine and Western response. Ukraine's position. Ukraine has not officially claimed responsibility but argues that this was a legitimate retaliation against recent intense Russian bombardments on Ukrainian cities. Some sources in Ukraine claim the drones were targeting military installations rather than civilians. Western reaction. Several European countries have refrained from direct comments but urged both sides to de-escalate tensions. The US and NATO have yet to release an official statement on the attack. Could the UAV war between Russia and Ukraine expand the conflict further? US-Ukraine, 30-day ceasefire agreement and military aid resumed, a major breakthrough. The US and Ukraine have reached a temporary 30-day ceasefire agreement, reopening the path for resumed military aid. Agreement details. Ukraine agrees to an immediate 30-day ceasefire, extendable if Russia complies. The US will resume military aid, including defensive weapons and intelligence support. Negotiations between Ukraine and Russia will commence during the ceasefire period. International reactions. U.S. President Donald Trump praised the agreement as a key step toward peace. Russia has yet to respond officially, but analysts believe Moscow may reject the deal. Could this ceasefire be the first step toward a lasting peace agreement? Oil tanker collision off UK coast. Environmental disaster looming? An environmental disaster could be unfolding. A serious oil tanker collision has spilled thousands of liters of fuel into the North Sea. Accident details. On the morning of March 10th, the oil tanker Stena Impero collided with the cargo vessel MV Long at the Humber Estuary, UK. 36 people were injured and 1 person is missing. 220,000 barrels of fuel are at risk of spilling into the sea, threatening the North Sea ecosystem. UK government response. Coast Guard forces have sealed off the area and deployed rescue teams. Environmental experts warn that the incident could have severe consequences if the oil spill spreads further. Can the North Sea avoid an environmental catastrophe? WHO warns of global air pollution crisis. The world is facing a severe air pollution crisis. The World Health Organization (WHO) has issued an urgent warning about global air quality. Latest pollution data. Czech Republic ranks as the most polluted country, with PM2.5 fine particulate levels reaching 91.88 micrograms per milliliter. Bangladesh, Pakistan, and India are also on high alert for hazardous air pollution. WHO warns that air pollution causes over 7 million deaths worldwide each year. Can nations control this growing air pollution crisis? Today's events reveal the immense challenges facing our world. Can Pakistan resolve the hostage crisis peacefully? How will Russia retaliate against Ukraine's UAV attack? Will the WHO push the world towards stronger environmental action? Share your thoughts in the comments. Like, share, and subscribe for the latest breaking news on Global News Today. See you in the next report.